summer, wherever you find Crush, you'll find Sylvester and Tweety.
I collect all 3 cans.
Just collect Crush proofs of purchase from specially marked 12-packs and 2-liter bottles, and you can get free Sylvester and Tweety merchandise.
Oh, pretty cans.
Like tattoos, t-shirts, and watches.
Doesn't feel like a soft drink.
So load up on irresistible fruit-flavored Crush today and
Puffer and succotash.
catch the Crush.
Not the bird.
Play Crush, Crush.
Up next, Action Couch Life. On today's episode, take a wild guess. Trust me, you're gonna be wrong.
I'm no stranger to idle games, and I've played around with dating sims before. I never thought anyone would combine them. I sure as hell didn't expect it to be good. Well, let's set the definition of good, shall we? It's a free numbers go up style game. One that's self-aware of the fact that it's kinda dumb, so it leans in hard to what it's become. I'd honestly consider this whole thing a parody game. It's the Excel saga of Android games. Only it's also on the Switch. And the PC, but we'll come back to that. As you first dive in, it seems incredibly straightforward. Just give it a couple hours and that facade falls off. Roughly around the time the bear shows up as a romantic partner, she likes the nightlife. And she likes to boogie. I'll level with you. The moment the game got incredibly silly, I started feeling better about playing it.
Beverly, think you stink!
I mean, I started telling people I'm playing it.
You kissed Bear Mother with that face hole?
Crush hits a point where it manages to both scratch that dating weeb game itch, but be self-deprecating enough that you can pretend it's not why you're here. You didn't need cartoon girls to say nice things about you to feel better, did you?
I swear, I'm feeling a connection.
Nah. Funny bear. Look at the bear. This game is freemium at its best. You don't need to spend money to enjoy most of it. Yet you can spend money to either make your life way easier or just get extra stuff. Now, no worries. The premium currency is earnable in-game, to a level at which it will actually be helpful regardless of how you play. See, most idle games have some sort of offline progression for when you aren't playing, usually capped out after a few hours, unless you pay extra. Crush gives you 7 full days by default. You could honestly play once a week and not lose much progress. Well, in the in-game areas at least. What you see here, this is the Switch version. It's fully voice acted, which costs 100 diamonds to unlock on the Android version. Now this is a compromise. In the Android version, you can watch ads for bonuses, and every 4 bonuses you earn gets you an extra free diamond. In the long run, this will give you more life out of the game if you're playing for free. That said, man, the Switch version feels better to control. It's way easier to spam taps using a button on a controller than just like nubbing your phone over and over again like a madman. It's also on Steam, but we'll get to that later. So the basic gameplay breaks down to a few key parts that you'll be juggling back and forth. The main thing you will need to balance is these time blocks. They're used to hold a job or hobby, as well as have dates or perform limited time events. Let's get these out of the way first. It's your daily login challenge. You play each day, you click that button, then do anything else before turning it off so it has a chance to save. It's a known issue that it can lose a login if you turn the game off too soon. LTEs give you different store goods for free if you absolutely don't want to spend any money. Okay, back to the fun. You have jobs, which earn money and level up. These take skills to unlock. And here you have hobbies, which give you skills as you do them. Each level taking longer and longer to unlock, each costing 3 time blocks to actively use, but you can switch them off and on any time to get your time blocks back. Jobs each take different amounts of time blocks to do, and variable lengths of time to level up. However, hobbies all progress at the same speed though. You will need these both in equal measures for dating the girls, as well as gifts and talking/poking them to get hearts and going on dates. Oh yeah, those take time and money, but you can just turn off a job for a second, knock out the dates, and then go back and switch it back on. So no loss, the job or hobby will pause its progress right where it is. It's only an issue if you forget to turn it back on. Now you can buy permanent game speed boosts in all the versions. Plus the Android store version, you can get a few hours of double speed for watching a 30-second advertisement. Those can stack for up to 12 hours. And every 4 ads is 1 free diamond. Also, every time you reach a new, as in first time per data, affection level with a girl, you get some diamonds. 1 diamond for the easier ones, and up to like 3 for the harder levels to reach. These diamonds can be used to make purchases in the store for various unlocks and perks, or you can use them to guild hobbies, making the skills go 16 times faster, or use them on jobs to make them generate 15 times as much money per tick, or just waste them on purchasing gifts or speeding up various game elements that never really equal the value of the diamond used. Definitely stick to powering up those skills first. As you grow closer to the girls, they start to require new skills you don't have yet, and that triggers those hobbies to show up, and eventually you'll hit a wall. Leveling up skills will take hours instead of minutes. Jobs will be so slow to complete it's not worth actively playing, so you pop in for a few minutes, click about the girls, then log off and let your money and skills grow. When you get so absolutely frustrated at the speed of it that you wouldn't mind just starting over, you can. If you soft reset your game, or pay 30 diamonds, you can permanently raise the game speed by this amount here. This modifier goes up for every romance level gained by each girl on your current run, so you have a choice to make here. You can speed run a few times and rapidly restart to get multiple small bumps in speed, which is a very good early game strategy, or you can wait and let it get so big it basically doubles your game speed. Now, a skill that took 15 hours only takes 7.5, then 3 3/4, and you get it. There's a secondary reason behind waiting. We talked about earning the premium currency diamonds already, but not time blocks. Those increase permanently through all resets by completing objectives. Every affection level with a girl for the first time is a task, as are job levels, hobby levels, and performing certain game actions like go on X number of dates, have X amount of money, and all those increasingly scaling number markers you would have come to expect in this type of game. Now each reset is not only orders of magnitude faster, but you can do more things at once. Pretty soon you'll be so fast and have so many time blocks, you could do all the hobbies at once and bounce around the starting jobs as needed to knock out the first few girls in minutes on each reset. Pun intended. But that's why this game's called Crush Crush. You always end up hurting these poor girls every time you meet them. Anyways, the resource management aspect is the meat and potatoes here. But the girls are the gravy. Each one is a reference or a parody in one way or another. Figuring out what they're making fun of is half the charm.
This was a trial.
Made all the more enjoyable with the Switch version's default unlocked voice acting. You get an animal girl, a homeless cat girl, a gamer girl, a narcoleptic airhead, totally not Rainbow Dash, an Evangelion pilot, the bear, a stalker who kills your crush, the ghost of that crush. Really, I never bothered to count, but there's lots of ladies, and they all have a cute story on their own, and yet tie into each other. Seems like a lot for a game with a silent protagonist, huh? Well, this protagonist has a cell phone. There's another whole section that is just text adventures, literally text message adventures, that once you complete any one of them, you can get them for the main game as well. Oh, and your main girls? Once you complete their story, you can unlock their phone flings, which is where our conversation gets more awkward. See, the phone flings are all about getting them to send you pics, flirting, and even some tongue-in-cheek sexting. It's the saucy bit of this game where I can see many parents not liking their kids to play. Now for starters, it's largely optional, so you don't have to do it. Secondly, it's pretty hidden on the menu. Very easy to hide if someone comes in the room, or ignore it if you're playing on the bus. Which brings us to the Steam version. This game started as a hentai game, I believe. If it didn't, I always thought it was, based off of where I saw it advertised. Which, yeah, the Switch and Android game pictures stay fairly PG-13. I mean, it's nothing you wouldn't see on Adult Swim. The Steam version still has all those hardcore nudes, as DLC of course. But it's there if you want it. Cop-out answer would be to say it's about the story, but it is. Each girl has her own little thing that plays out in small bursts as you grow closer. Very simple plots that have about as much depth as your average webcomic. Which, I mean, hey, I used to love webcomics. In many ways, that's the feel for the whole game. Some early 2000s parody comic, which I just now realized that's basically saying it's Excel Saga again.
This world is corrupt. Are you listening?
The main girls section is pretty casual compared to the phone flings, which have full narratives, raising the plot for each girl to the focus. Which, they know you either want to see the next picture, or, at least in my case, honestly know what happens next. So there's a countdown per message, from 6 seconds to around 8 hours each text. Another reason to get those game time boosts from the resets, huh? Especially because those phone flings don't reset. It's something you can focus on while the main girls keep getting time looped over and over again. You can reread the conversation, check the pictures, and have a bit of a story to keep coming back to. A perfect little setup that keeps you playing until you're done. I mean, yes, they keep adding content, but they keep adding content. There is an ending of sorts, though if you make it that far, you'll probably keep going on after. I mean, there are multiple endings to the game as well. You'll knock those out, and then the next week a new girl gets added. For the last month, I found it's replaced that urge I get to go read some Far Side comics on my phone while waiting for the oven to preheat. Think of it like a little interactive comic. Amusing half jokes and fun situations or ideas that maybe won't get a laugh, but you'll crack a smile. Think of it as no stress fun, giving that 7-day offline progress a very important purpose. You can slowly burn out, play it less and less often until you move on, which, in the case of idle games, is a plus. Is it a perfect game? Not even close. But you know what it is? Free. Free and without intrusive ads? That's already a 5 out of 10 in my book, for anything even remotely playable. So when one has the charm and style of Crush Crush, it has to be an 8 out of 10 by any metric. It's far from a shoebox title. In fact, playing 2 different versions at once to get this review done probably brought my time with this game to a premature end. Though it's worth it to tell people that Crush Crush is actually better than one would assume at first glance. So many games give you way less and in a way worse package. This here is about as close to a perfect balance of gameplay and progression you will find in a free game that looks this nice. It's my opinion that Sad Panda Studios absolutely crushed it with this title. So I say give it a download. You literally have nothing to lose by trying it out. Even if you walk away not liking it, you'll at least know you don't like things like this. It's a good way to see if you enjoy the more flirty, dialogue-driven relationship simulator systems that keep creeping up more and more often these days. So, something to think about until next time. Speaking of which, I'd like to give an extra special thank you to our patrons, and a regular thank you to everyone else. If you'd like to leave a comment about what to play next, feel free. Or just pop over to our Discord and talk to us all directly. That or the website's still around. I'll get back to writing articles soon. Heck, this was originally going to be an article for the website, but I thought, hey, why not make a video, which is kind of what all this was? Anyway, stay comfy.